What's going on, fellas? I'm back with another video. This is the trade on NASDAQ that I took today. I was able to catch 34 points, and I'll show you guys my exact thought process. So, this is what the chart was looking like when I opened it up. Here's the 1 hour time frame. This is the 9 o'clock candle. We had 10 o'clock news, but prior to that, we had 8:30 news. So I was waiting for the 10 o'clock news just because we were stuck in a range, which I'll show you here in a second. But on the higher time frame, you can see that we are in a short-term sell model, and most likely this is going to get hit in the overnight session. But this is our longer time frame or higher time frame John liquidity. But short term, it's these 4 hour equal lows here. So 9 o'clock came down, turtle soup this low, and barely tapped into this 1 hour fair value gap, and then came back up. And we are inside of this 1 hour SIBI. And let me unhide these drawings. So what I was looking at was this down close candle and this 1 hour fair value gap. So now let's drop into a 15 minute. We have our midnight opening price lining up with equal lows as well. And if you turn on this is just my session indicator. This is Asia, this is London, this is New York. You can see that we have London and Asia lows that still need to be taken, and that also acts as a draw on liquidity. So you can see the 8:30 candle was the Judah swing here. Come up, fill this entire 1 hour fair value gap. If we're going to continue be bearish, this high should not be breached because this is our intermediate term high. And you can see this is where we get our change in the state of delivery here on the 15 minute. We close below this last up close candle here at 9:30, and if you go into the 5 minute, this is all I was looking at. This was the 8:30 low and the 8:30 high. Both of those got taken, and we were stuck in a range until we got that displacement candle at 9:30. We create a fair value gap. This is now an order block as well. And all I was waiting for was a move out of this range because we were just bouncing. You can see we are just wicking. So that's what I was looking for. This was our one of these London lows that got taken, and that's all I needed. You can see that we closed below this last up close candle here. Order block is doing its thing, and if you go to the 1 minute, the SMT is pretty clear. I'm going to delete this, but you can see we're inside of these two up close candles, which is a bearish order block. We have SMT here with the S&P 500. And let me unhide these drawings again. Same thing for ES. We have a 1 hour SIBI. You can see we tap that in. We tap into that at 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock we get our move down. But here's the 1 minute SMT. 5 minute doesn't matter what time frame. But you can see that high from 948. Here's our 948 high. Here's 943. ES took that, and then we get our displacement lower. And if you look at the 30 minute, I was more confident in this draw on liquidity as well because we had sell stops, which was also, once again, London lows outside of a 30 minute fair value gap here with midnight price. So when you have untapped fair value gaps with liquidity, swing lows underneath, that's normally a very strong draw on liquidity. Pair that with a higher time frame, short-term market maker sell model, SMT and London equal lows down here with midnight and an untapped fair value gap, that's pretty much where price is going to go. So the setup that I took was on NQ. All I was looking for was this breaker here, these two down close candles to act as resistance. So let me make this a breaker. This is our breaker. Now we have a fair value gap, two fair value gaps, and I'll show you where I entered. So I got in as soon as the wick of this candle got tapped, and we were inside of this fair value gap. The only thing that I could have done better today was wait for a premium entry. So you can see my entry was a little bit just outside of premium, but I should have waited for that, especially since we were kind of chopping around and we had a short week this week and price action hasn't really been moving well. So that's normally the days where you're going to get your deeper retracements before the move lower. So this is what my risk reward looked like. I got short here. I was targeting low of day, and my stop loss was right there. I didn't want to see. I wanted to see this fair value gap up here. stay as a breakaway gap. Also, what I could have done better here is wait for this 5 minute to close and then get inside of this 5 minute fair value gap, which was in a deep discount or a deep premium, right? We throw on the OTE here. You can see that we end up hitting the OTE, and if you look at the 5 minute, you can see how clean these 5 minute candle bodies were, respecting the 62% retracement level before we got our displacement move lower. So this was honestly a pretty scary hold, just because it was chopping around so much. But as soon as I saw this right here, these candles continually respecting this fair value gap, and you can see if you look at the 5 minute, this 5 minute candle completely filled in this 5 minute fair value gap, once again created an intermediate term high. So now this high should not be violated if we're going to continue lower. So once I saw this high get taken and the candles close underneath this, and we tapped the 50% of this breaker here, you can see the bodies of the candles are telling the story, right? Once I saw that and we got this displacement candle here, we closed below these last two up close candles. That's where I knew I was on sides. And as soon as we broke below this low here, I did trail my stop to break even. There was no reason for me to keep risk on. This was my entry. So we have 3 fair value gaps, and all these wicks as well, and this inversion gap that are all in front of my stop loss. So I wouldn't want to see 4 PD arrays get broken through before this low gets taken. So you can see we closed below this down close candle here that once I moved my stop to break even, and my take profit got hit right there. So that was the entire thought process behind the trade. ES gave me that stronger draw on liquidity, since it was just cleaner with the untapped 30-minute fair value gap down here, and the SMT was just the icing on the cake, pretty much. This was a very, very beautiful unicorn setup. That's all for this video. I was able to catch almost 34 points on this trade. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.